Welcome back, everyone. How are you today? This is Aluminum Tarot. I'm going to go ahead and do your reading for this month. We're going to be doing the Black Mirror spread, looking into some of the energies surrounding your last toxic or narcissistic relationship, and try to learn some of the lessons related to that. Before we begin, I just want to explain that the spread is essentially called the Black Mirror spread because the relationship that triggered you in this specific time is a reflection of your shadow self. And look who's showing up here. So basically what it does is it tries to show you how to be stronger, more independent, less codependent based on the interactions that you have with this particular person. So we typically blame the narcissist and we say, oh, well, that person's negative, that person's evil. But unfortunately, those people are attracted into your lives due to specific interactions, specific things that you need to learn about yourself. And they are a kind of soulmate, they're karmic soulmates. And in doing, in interacting with this person, tripping on my words today. But in interacting with this person, we become healthier, holistic people. So this spread is going to try to peer into some of the energy surrounding that. We're going to be sorting out the last 4 for this week, which is going to be Gemini. We're starting with Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. We're going to look into the energies. But before we begin, quickly, if you like what you see here, please give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so that way you don't miss any updates from this channel. I'm going to pick up the pace with everything here and make sure that I get these things out in a timely manner. Also, if you'd like a personal reading, please reach out to me at the website in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and get you a decent reading tuned into your energies based on the number of questions that you'd like answered. And also, please avoid any scammers. Self-explanatory. If someone reaches out to you via WhatsApp, Telegram, saying it's me or some other tarot reader and that they want to give you a reading, just something's off and it's not from the official website of the person, please avoid them. Don't get cucked at all. Anyways, thank you so much for your time here. We're going to go ahead and get started with this. Let's begin. Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Black Mirror spread. Gemini, 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 Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Black Mirror spread. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this. It's quite a large spread, takes a bit of explanations. So we're going to go ahead and just start with the first one, which is the lesson. What is the lesson here for Gemini? How did the relationship begin? How did the relationship begin? How did it proceed? And how did the relationship end? What was the initial attraction from the Gemini side? What was the intention of the toxic person or the other person in the relationship? I think that's the second time that's come out. Codependency issue on the Gemini side. Oof. Well, 2 cards exploded up from that. And those both being the Ace of Wands, so it's a bit of a Freudian slip. codependency on the other person's end. Clarify this magician. Clarify the magician. Okay. How did the person cope with the toxicity in the relationship? Good grief. Cards are flying all over the place today. How did the other person cope with abuse in the relationship? How did the Gemini pull away? How did the toxic person try to control the relationship? How did you try to protect yourself? I think that came up upright, actually. And how did the narcissist or toxic person discard you? How did you close out the cycle? Very good. Bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which basically indicates that you had to, you let destiny take its course, essentially, in this relationship. You didn't fight the ending. You just allowed for things to kind of die out. And this was kind of beyond your control, if I can say that. This particular relationship was meant to teach you something, definitely. It was kind of meant to be a fated connection, something that you learned something about it, and then you were able to move on and proceed with your life. So, start off. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to do my best to get through this spread and actually break down some of the main points here. The first thing that we have here, the lesson, is temperance. So this is basically a lesson of patience, faith, as well as experimentation, because with the temperance you have Archangel Gabriel, which is actually moving these two cups together to kind of create the best concoction. So it's an alchemic process. They've got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on earth. This is the same as the Star card, which basically indicates kind of healing and balance between both the emotional and the practical worlds. And this is essentially what you needed to do throughout this relationship in order for you to gain some clarity and heal from the past. So in this spread, you had the relationship began at a time in which you were not really interested in relationships at all. You were pretty much taking a break from them. You weren't really interested in investing anything. And for the Gemini in question, you kind of saw relationships as something not really worth their time. I don't know why I'm coming up with that, but that's what indicates to me from this card. Perhaps you had gone through a bad breakup, you had experienced some kind of heartache, and you just really felt that it wasn't in your interest to get into a relationship. I can pull another card from that to kind of clarify. Yep. So, essentially, with the Hermit reverse, normally people would say that's a time where you come out of isolation. But in essence, what I see here is something different. This is a person who doesn't want to acknowledge or feel or think about anything romantically related. The Hermit goes in the upright, and they actually go within. so that they can learn viable lessons that will help them to transform themselves using the power of the star card, which is the guidance from the universe and the guidance that allows people to find their North Star, their true north. So that helps them to become a more authentic person. So when you're not doing that, you're actually not willing to be an authentic person in the romantic sense. And you kind of eschewed any kind of relationships that would make you feel on a specifically deep level, or something that would be reflective of yourself. So essentially, this case in point indicated someone who wanted just kind of a casual thing, or something that didn't go into any depth or thought. Basically a fling, one-nighter, wham bam, thank you, ma'am or Mr., whichever one you go to. and that's pretty much it. Now, as the relationship progressed, maybe you had the judgment here, someone did not want to give it a second chance. We're not really sure exactly why, but hopefully we can find out the answer to this. Yeah. King of Cups. So essentially, someone closed off to the relationship as it progressed, and they refused to give it a second chance. They closed off emotionally, or they were emotionally manipulative, and in turn, this is what led to the downfall of the relationship. I see a person who is closed off emotionally, closed off mentally, and someone who, for some reason, just decided not to proceed forward with this, whether it was good or a bad relationship. But for some reason, as the relationship ended, I'm trying to understand why we have the 8 of Wands here. Let's see here. What's going on here? This is going to be one of those tough nuts to crack. There we are. The cards do their own thing. I'm just here. I'm just the messenger. So, 8 of Wands comes in, swift communication due to a tower moment that took place within the Gemini's life. Maybe this was a sudden realization. Maybe this was a difficult situation that occurred in the Gemini's life. I'm getting an intuitive download. Gemini, did you have another option? And did that option kind of blow up in your face? Perhaps this is the reason why you closed off to this particular relationship. Because maybe you felt it was going a bit too deep. So you closed off your emotions and you didn't want to give it a second chance. But now I see here that you wanted swift communication with the person in this spread because you had a tower moment, either with another option or within your own personal life. Only you would know that, and you would be the judge of that. So I'm going to give you the burden of taking accountability for what took place there. This could be reverse. This could be the other person that you're dealing with. Take it as it resonates, but we're not going to play blame game here. We're going to just go ahead and proceed and see what happens in the rest of the spread. All right. So when you first came together, the initial attraction or the initial feelings or sentiments when you got into this relationship was the Knight of Wands reverse, Knight of Swords reverse, sorry. And what you felt was essentially, you felt that you didn't want to open up too much. You kind of didn't want to speak. You were a bit mealy-mouthed with the person that was interested in you. Perhaps you didn't want to give a lot away at the time. Normally the Knight of Swords in the upright is someone who charges in, rushes in, and perhaps due to past issues or past relationships that kind of went south a bit, you decided not to rush in this time, not to give it too much energy or effort. You just kind of wanted to go with the flow, and you didn't want to communicate very much unless it was worthwhile. Now, on the other hand, the person that you were dealing with, they were very, very single when they first met you. They were in a feeling of, I'm saving my coin, I'm just doing my own thing, I'm going to live my life in a happy, nice, healthy way. I'm not really looking for anything. I'm single. That's what this card entails. And I'm not really sure if that intimidated you a little bit about it, but maybe that enticed you to this person, considering that their intention was to stay single. So this was kind of like an opportunity for you to indulge in, the physical aspects of the relationship without getting too involved emotionally, which is involved here with the Judgment and the King of Cups reverse. So the codependency issue here, yes, Gemini, or the person that you're dealing with. Gemini, you had it bad for them. They were attractive to you. They were very, very physically attractive to you. You wanted them to put it on you. And this, of course, these are two penises. These are two penis cards, as they would say, two dick cards. The Ace of Wands, which is without question the phallic stick of dynamite. And then the Page of Wands, the guy who lights that stick. So you're very attracted to them. You wanted to flirt with them. You wanted to communicate with them that you were intentionally trying to get in bed. However, on the other hand, the person, their codependency. See, in your situation, you're codependent because you like sex. You like the physical side of things. You like to keep it lighthearted. You like the sexy times, the good times, but you don't like the emotional aspects of a relationship. Perhaps because in the past, this was one of the reasons why you detached, because maybe you gave too much in a previous relationship that did not go well. However, on this end, this person was codependent. They rushed into this relationship wanting to give it everything. They wanted to manifest the Ten of Cups with you without even knowing you. And I think that was a very detrimental thing for them to do. Perhaps they went into this relationship with unrealistic expectations and not really actually knowing who they were dealing with before things began to transpire between the two of you. And this is potentially something that's happened to this person before in the past. Now, this person may also have Gemini or Virgo in their chart. There's also Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is typically the Virgo card, so that you may have dealt with someone with a strong Virgo placement and they're in their chart. Now, the way things began to proceed as you started to get to know this person and then you realized you didn't want the relationship is that you kind of closed in on yourself with this Queen of Pentacles and just focused on yourself. You worked, you stayed at home a lot. You just kind of put them on the back burner. I see. You just kind of wanted to do your own thing. I don't get a loving energy from this. After you got what you needed, you just took it. You came back, said, "Okay, I'm going to stay at home, do my own thing, feed my cats, feed my dog, watch TV. Mission accomplished." I don't know why I'm getting that, but mission accomplished pops into my head. You got the wand. It was good to you. And then you left it at that. However, this person, the way they reacted to it, they were a bit confused. They didn't really know what to think. They may have, I'm not getting a guilt trippy vibe to you, but they may have responded to you by trying to get you to continue speaking with them or to continue communicating or meeting up, things like that. And I don't think you were very receptive to it. You're turned away from this person. So when you have these two here, you're responding. This person's like, "Hey, well, don't you want to meet up?" And you're like, no, I think I'm just going to continue watching Netflix. I'm going to go Netflix and chill over here. I hope you have a great life. To cut them out, to make sure that they don't try to form any kind of emotional attachments to you. This is something that you specifically wanted to do, and this is something that you did later. As the relationship progressed, you then began to pull away from the relationship by showing cold, heartless, detached emotion. You fell out of love immediately. You cut off your emotions to this person. And this person just kind of responded. they lost their confidence quite a bit. And I'm seeing a person here, not necessarily who was playing the field. Maybe they did. Maybe they decided to explore their options elsewhere, which is quite possible. But I think they did it from a place of lacking confidence in this specific relationship. And once that confidence was lost, so was the trust. And I think that the two of you separated, you eventually drifted apart. You cut off the emotions, the other person cut off the passion. Maybe this is something that you wanted, maybe this is something that they wanted from you. And now that you're cutting off the very thing that you're codependent on, this emotional fulfillment they're seeking from you, and this passion that you're seeking from them, it's no longer an issue of we're getting fulfilled from this relationship, because you're on completely different wavelengths, completely different pages in this particular spread. Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things that just kind of let this thing die out. You protected yourself with the Sun card. Now, you protected yourself by trying to find your happiness. Something tells me to pull a card for this. Right. Okay. So, what you did after this relationship dissolved is I see a person who basically tried to find their happiness in their own unconventional way, essentially being very non-committal and just exploring the options and playing the field. Whether this brought you happiness or not, I can't say. You could just be one of those types of people that hates relationships. So fine and dandy. But I don't really get an authenticity from here. The Sun is an authentic card. The Hierophant reverse is a very rebellious card. And I don't know, some people are free spirits. No judgment there. It's just that in this spread up, what I see is two people trying to get something out of the other person where they know that it's not going to be possible long term. This person is not going to accept someone less than their 10 of Cups. And you won't take anything more than the Ace of Wands. And for me, yeah, because this here, I'm trying to understand why we have the Eight of Wands and the Tower as the final way that this relationship ended. We're going to have to peer into this a little bit more because I don't think this is a very finished spread. Basically, the way this person discarded you is they just drifted into nothingness. They didn't want to really speak to you anymore. They just decided to keep themselves secret. They probably decided to keep secrets and fade into obscurity. I don't think this was something that ended clearly. I think you just decided to explore your options and then they just decided to fade away and go focus on something else, because the way the cycle is closed out is that both of you just stopped putting any effort into the relationship. And I think that is essentially how the relationship ended. Now, I am drawn back to this deck because the universe right now, the divine, whatever you want to say, is telling me to keep drawing the cards. Somebody let their guard down, and we need to understand why. What happened to the Gemini after they decided to explore their options? Emperor. Let's come out. Oh, wow. Look at what was at the bottom of the deck. It's come back out. So, I think for the you, Gemini, you decided to kind of keep a very tight lid on your life. I think that after realizing that someone was going to get emotionally attached to you, you decided to close off. You decided to become very adamant about who you would give access to or not give access to, and you became very rigid and structured with the way that you approached relationships. This then in turn led to it's a tricky one. I'm getting in my mind a person who tried so hard to control access to their life that it became stagnant. It's almost like this Knight of Pentacles needs to be in the reversed. You know, like when you're in quicksand and they say don't struggle because it'll make you sink faster, but then the Gemini decides to struggle against the quicksand and then they sink deeper and deeper into the dick sand, as they would call it. This menagerie of people that they've decided to sleep with or that they've decided to entertain. If this was you, Gemini, of course, take it as it resonates. And we then come to a period where life just becomes so out of balance that your fortunes changed for the worse. Maybe you could have dealt with a Libra, or maybe you could have dealt with a Capricorn, which is the wheel of fortune, or an Aries, or an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The Justice also indicates someone who's basically been divorced. And the Wheel of Fortune shows that their fortunes are changing for the better or worse. Now, this could be for a very small number of people. I'm getting that you divorced from someone. They offered you a small settlement, but after receiving that, basically your life turned upside down. You felt either it wasn't enough or it wasn't fair, or that you needed more from this settlement. But when you have the Justice reverse, either indicates something that is unfair or it indicates a divorce. And then you had to kind of move on with your life. And this could potentially be the reason why you didn't want to entertain anything serious, simply because you felt that you cannot commit emotionally to anyone. Firstly, because you hadn't gotten through the divorce. And secondly, because the divorce had impacted you so badly, because you did feel like you wanted to have that 10 of cups with someone. When someone offers it again, now it's just like, oh, why the fuck am I dealing with this again? So if this divorce took place, you know, of course, now your life is switching, changing, and you're trying your best to keep up with that. I'm going to pull even more cards for some reason. I need to pull. How did this divorce or separation make the Gemini feel? Missed opportunity. I'm feeling like you were looking at this relationship. You're asking yourself, with the person involved in this relationship, it was a missed opportunity. You would have liked it to work out. Your heart wasn't in it. There was too much that you were dealing with at the time, especially with this previous relationship, with this divorce. I'm getting a person who doesn't really understand or know if they can open their heart to anyone again. And maybe they feel they can only deserve the physical side. They only deserve or want to deal with the passion because it's fleeting and it's controllable and you can have it in small doses just by getting on a dating app or going out and meeting someone. But the emotional stuff, that's what tears you apart. It's like when you invest in the fire, you don't feel like you'll get burnt. When you invest in the water, you always drown. I don't know why I'm getting that. So you're pouring those cups out. Missed opportunity. Let's move this to the side. And let's not think about that in the future. It's weird. Felt that channeled a bit. Yeah. You just don't feel like investing. You feel like giving up on that. With the Strength reversed, I'm going to leave it there. But Gemini, you know your story, so just take what resonates, leave the rest, because I am reading for a collective. Anyways, this has been Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining. If you liked what you saw here, please give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell for all future updates. I'm going to keep the ball rolling on this whole YouTube thingy and try to balance it out with my life, because I am doing quite a bit of stuff here as well. I had to do a bit of travels, hence the long delay in getting these readings out. And then additionally, if you like a personal reading, please reach out to me in the website included in the description box below. And avoid the scammers as before. Thank you so much, Gemini. I wish you all the best. Take care. Until next time.